Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, students. Let's say thank you to Jimmy, who entertained us with incredible music as we were here. Can I ask our young people to find a seat very quickly? That way you know what a press conference is all about. Thank you so much. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you to the media for being here. Thank you to our principal, Mr. Ian Sherman, for hosting this incredible event. And thank you so very much for Assemblyman Dr. Nader Sayegh for having us here today and bringing us here for an important event. I'm just opening the event and giving you an opportunity to understand what it is to have a press conference, and particularly when the press conference is about supporting each and every one of you, our students. So before I introduce him, put your hands to all the dignitaries that are here today so that we can thank you and celebrate them. And before I introduce the person that's leading this press conference, allow me to introduce the different dignitaries that are here so that you know who they are. First of all, our Assemblyman Dr. Nader Sayegh. Please welcome Dr. Nader Sayegh. The mayor of the city, Mr. Mike Spano. Please welcome Mr. Mike Spano. Our state senator, Senator Shelley Mayer. Senator Shelley Mayer is here with us. The president of the Board of Education, the Reverend Steve Lopez, is here with us as well. Newly elected councilwoman is here with us also, Ms. Tasha Diaz. And the president of the Yonkers Federation of Teachers, Ms. Samantha Rosado Ciriello, is also here. Thank you. So this is an important announcement that is going to benefit each and every one of you. It will benefit our future students, and it will benefit the community of Yonkers. And with that, to begin the event, please welcome our assemblyperson, Dr. Nader Sayegh.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Dr. Quesada.
I apologize, but how can I not formally introduce our council president, the Honorable Mike Cater.
It's my pleasure to be here before you. As an educator, some of you may know, I had the pleasure of serving on the school board and serving as a school principal here in Yonkers for over 30 years. And I had the pleasure of working with Dr. Quesada and our board president, Reverend Steve Lopez, and Ian Sherman, who's the principal doing a terrific job. I had the pleasure of serving and working alongside his father, who was a Yonkers educator many years ago. So all of us that are here have a long history of involvement with the Yonkers schools. And as public officials, as civic leaders, as governmental leaders, we're very concerned about the quality of education in Yonkers. And we want very much to make sure that no matter what role we play at any level, that we do our very best to make sure that the Yonkers public schools are funded in a proper manner. For too long, our schools have been depleted with necessary services because of formulas that the state put forth that we don't approve of. They shortchange us a tremendous amount of money that forces us to go to Albany and lobby year after year for the funding. But this time, the changes that are taking place are so beneficial at this time. And that's because we have the pleasure of having a state delegation that has really been extremely instrumental in respecting and representing the best interest of Yonkers public schools. And I'd like to publicly acknowledge my colleague, and I had the pleasure of being elected to represent the residents of her former assembly seat, but she was elected as our state senator, and she's the chair of the Education Committee, which really gives us a tremendous input into education and how funds and how services are distributed. So a special gratitude to Senator Shelley Mayer. And this year, we're also fortunate with what happened, the wave that took place in the past year or so, to not only elect a necessary amount of state senators, but to allow us an opportunity to have the majority leader of the New York State Senate, a Yonkers person, someone that has represented us for many years, is now the majority leader, State Senator Andrea Stewart-Cousins. So I wanted to acknowledge and thank her for her efforts. Today is special because as state representatives, as Senator Shelley Mayer knows, we're given opportunities to try to seek out as much funding from the State Assembly and the State Senate, and we try to put the funds to the best use. And I had the pleasure of being able today to announce that $750,000 of funding from the New York State Assembly through my office was designated to the Yonkers Public Schools. $750,000 will be utilized primarily to fix the auditorium we're in this afternoon, Lincoln High School. And also to repair and fix and renovate at Yonkers Middle High School the sports facility with new lockers and bleachers, and really fix up the facilities so that at Lincoln High School and at the Yonkers High sport facility, not only students from Lincoln and Yonkers Middle High, but this happens to be one of the biggest facilities in our city. Not only is it utilized by Lincoln High School, it's utilized by the entire public school system and the entire city of Yonkers, with programs and services and concerts and theaters and choir and holiday events and civic events, and lately utilizing this beautiful facility for My Brother's Keeper, a new initiative in the city of Yonkers. These are the services we want to preserve. These are the services that become more feasible and worthy when there's facility that is modern, facility that is utilized to its fullest, whether it's a stage or the seating or the sound system or the lighting system. In the case of the Yonkers High, it's the bleachers and the boys and girls locker rooms, and it's the services on the screens and the billboards and so forth. So with this grant, even though for many, well, it's only $750,000, that's money we never had. So that $750, with the help of Mr. John Carr and his staff and the superintendent, would be put to good use. So I'm very proud that we're able to secure this year $750,000, and we look forward to continue to fight the state to change the funding formula so Yonkers gets its fair share of state aid. We thank each and every one of you, our faculty, staff, our Board of Education, our city leaders and government leaders, for all their efforts in this fight. So I'd like, before we go any further, to call upon my colleague and state senator and education chair for her remarks, Senator Shelley Mayer.
Thank you so much. I'll be very brief. One, this is a fantastic day for the city of Yonkers, the Yonkers Public Schools, and I'm so appreciative of the leadership of my colleague, Assemblyman Nader Sayegh. This is a reminder, when you get elected to office, you can actually make a difference in someone's life. Because with the money that he allocates, he is going to be able to help change this auditorium, which will change your life. So I want each of you, I hope you will think about being in public service in whichever way you want. But the point is, once you stick your toe in and you get in, you can actually change the lives of the people in our city and the people in the state. So with that, I want to thank my colleague, Assemblyman Nader Sayegh, for his leadership and for realizing how important it is to support in every way possible our students, our schools, and our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator. I'd like to call upon at this time, representing our municipal branch. As you know, we're lucky because we have city government, county, state government, each of us working together to make sure that we put together the necessary funds. And there's been really no mayor and no administration that has supported public education and put more effort, time, and funds into public schools like my next introduction, and that's Mayor Mike Spano.
Thank you, Senator, and Senator, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's certainly a pleasure to be here. Let me start by saying, 2 days after the inauguration, we were very, very excited to have some of you singing over at well, actually it wasn't at the inauguration, but we had you singing some of our events, and I just wanted to say thank you. So let's just give a nice round of applause to our singers. To Nader Sayegh, this is a huge shot in the arm. This really is a huge step in the right direction. As you know, we have been fighting for the rebuild of our schools for quite a few years now. And it's nice to know that we have members of our delegation, both our assemblyman and our senator, that go out there and fight so very, very hard for us each and every single day. When I have to go to Albany to advocate for our city, right? I go there with our council president, Mike Cater, and now we have our new councilman, Tasha Diaz, who will be here fighting along with us because she's the new education chair. When I go there, it's always better to have the road a little paved for you, to have somebody who's going to get the message started, because we don't have to just convince our legislators. Our legislators know full well what our needs are and are prepared to do whatever they need to do to deliver for us. But we have to deliver, but we have to get 208 other legislators to agree with our point of view. And that isn't always easy. Matter of fact, it's very hard. But they do that for us each year. Each and every year, they're able to deliver additional dollars to the district. And each and every year, we're able to make changes that we hope will provide the real reform to that formula that we've all been fighting for and dreaming about for a long time. There's a lot of work to do, but this is a great effort, and this is a great step in the right direction. So I want to say thank you on behalf of all the people of our great city. Thank you to Assemblyman Nader Sayegh for his leadership in the Assembly and making this happen. And of course, thank you to Senator Mayer for doing what she continues to do for us, delivering for us, and making our voices heard, especially as the chair of the Senate Education Committee. It's good to see everyone. And of course, let me just say thank you to Samantha Ciarello for her job as well. You know, she's the president of the Teachers Union. And while she's there advocating on behalf of the teachers, and we know how well the teachers do for us, she is also advocating for each and every one of you. And when I'm up there at the state capitol, pushing for more dollars, and pushing for reforms, one of the people I can see standing right next to me is the president of the Teachers Union. So I want to say thank you. So, good to see you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Spano. Also, as a reminder, the state assembly and senate, passed new voter reform legislation where we have early voting. And one thing very important for our young men and women is we have a new legislation, new bill that allows you to register to vote when you're 16 and 17. You gotta wait till you're 18 to vote, but at least it guarantees you that you put your papers in, your registration, and you're eligible to vote. And hopefully, what makes society and government and our lives better is when as many people as possible take an opportunity and practice democracy to work and they vote. So keep that in mind when you're 16, 17, keep that in mind to make sure you find out how you can register to vote here at Lincoln and throughout the city. I'd like to call upon to say a few remarks representing the City Council, the Council President, Mike Cater.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Spano. On behalf of the City Council, We are excited here, and you see Tasha, who's the education chair. So if anyone, you have any education issues, just call up Tasha, and I'll give you her extension number. But the real reason why I'm really excited to be here, in 1994 through 1998, I attended Lincoln High School. So you know I'm going to be a Lincoln Lancer for life. And I was speaking to Mr. Sherman. I think you were back here, joking around. But we used to have a drama club, and that stage has been in the same condition since at least I was here in 1994. The seats that you're sitting in are the same seats since at least I was here. With this money, thanks to Nader's tireless advocacy, this facility could be updated, where you can again have great shows, where you could have talent nights again, you could have community meetings again, and that's why I'm excited. I want to be able to thank Nader for the tireless work. Keep it up. You know, our state education chair, Senator Shelley Mayer, will be up there very soon, working tirelessly. And in closing, you're going to forget all our names or what we look like, but I just want every single student to remember, every single person sitting on that chair fights for you for education. It's not perfect. We can never give 100% of what you want, but always know we are fighting 100%. Keep up the great work, and good luck to everyone. Thank you so much.
I want to give an opportunity, someone that becomes really the liaison between city government, city council, and the Board of Education. And I know she's a fighter and an advocate for public schools and equity for all children. I want to say a few words, and that's our newly elected councilwoman and the educational chair, and that's Tasha Diaz. Come on.
I want to start by saying good afternoon to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor. As a lifelong Yonkers resident, a product of Yonkers Public Schools, my children being products of Yonkers Public Schools, it is an honor to be education chair. Anyone that knows me knows that I will fight the fight and make sure all funds that are needed come down to Yonkers with the help of all of our state and city officials. 2020 is going to be an excellent year here. This is just a step in the right direction and moving us forward. And like Nader Sayegh said, get out and vote. That's the most important thing. There's been so many hurdles and obstacles that we have overcome just by coming out and voting. You may think it's not important, but it's very, very important to vote. And in my closing, I just want to say, you are our future. We are looking at our future. You too can be standing where we are in this very spot. I was born and raised in Yonkers. I've raised my family here. And it's still a dream to me to wake up to say that I am the first elected woman of color for District 3. So, on transparency and inclusion, and that's my goal.
Diaz, I'd like at this time to call upon, what makes education efficient and run well is effective teaching and learning. And teachers play a major role. Our teachers, in addition to administrators and counselors and everybody that takes a special role in education. But representing our teachers union, who plays a very important role in lobbying and working with us to make sure we get the proper services, is our teachers. And representing our teachers, I'd like to call upon Samantha Rosado Ceriello.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone.
I'd like to thank Assemblyman Nader Sayegh for this generous grant that he has fought so hard to get for our schools to renovate the auditorium both here at Yonkers Middle High School. As those before me have said, this is really about you, and it's about the community. And you hear that it's important to vote, but it's important to know who you're voting for and what they stand for. So I would encourage you to make appointments with each of our elected representatives to talk to them about what is important to you and what you would like to see in your schools and in your communities. Because really, that's what's going to make a difference. They need to hear your voices. We can talk all we want, but it's really about you. So please, take the time. You don't have to be 16 or 17 or 18 to make that phone call and make an appointment to go see them, okay? Because by the time you hit that age, you should know what it is they stand for. And they are hard workers for Yonkers. They fight every single day to bring us the things that we need so much. Dr. Sayegh has worked in our schools, as he said, as an administrator. His family members also work in our schools to this day. He knows that our buildings are in much needed repair. Majority of our buildings are 80 years old or older. So we thank him again for this opportunity to help our auditoriums and to help our schools with the repairs that they need. And we thank all our delegation and all of our legislators, and of course our superintendent and our board of trustee members as well for standing together, and we welcome you to stand as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samantha. I'd like to call upon now a very dear friend. I had the pleasure of serving on the Board of Education with him, and over the last over 2 years now, in his third term as president of the Board of Education, has really done a terrific job. And I want to compliment him and commend him publicly. And if he can please come up, Reverend Steve Lopez.
Thank you, Dr. Sayegh. Good afternoon, everyone. You know, it's very important for you to get involved as young adults so that there's no vacuum. Do what you gotta do. It's not difficult. You have to be committed, and you have to have a heart. Everyone on this stage has that, and that's why we take the time out to do what we gotta do. I can tell you one thing, and I'm gonna keep it short because what's standing between you and the end of this is me, and I'm not gonna be the one. First off is this: you're in good hands. You're in good hands with your parents. You're in good hands with grandma, abuelita, your teachers, Mr. Sherman. You're in good hands with the people here who look out for you every single day. You're in good hands. You're in good hands with the state legislators. You're in good hands. The city council, the Board of Education, the teachers union, CSEA, the mayor's office. You're in good hands. Dr. Sayegh came for this first term, $750,000. Give him a hand. Dr. Sayegh, let's multiply that times 10 next year, and times 10 the year after that, and 10 the year after that. We'll get to $2 billion real quick, right, Mr. Mayor? Anyways, continue to fight the good fight. I encourage you to go to Albany for Rally Day. We've done that before. We've loaded up buses and gone there very shortly. We'll be heading up to Albany so you can learn about civics, what it's all about, because that's what brings a change about in your life. And when you see this place when it's done, you're going to go, whoa. Works. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend. I'd like at this time, really representing the executive branch of public education, the leadership, and we have really two executives. One is our principal, who does a terrific job here at Lincoln High School year after year. Let's give our principal, Mr. Ian Sherman, a nice round of applause. On the district-wide level, our executive, a position called the superintendent of schools, who year after year has done an excellent job in making sure that the outreach to the city and the county and the state and to the teachers union and to other civic organizations The effort to get everybody to work together and pull together is a commendable job. And to see our public school system become one of the best in urban schools in the state, an 87% graduation rate, and to see what the mayor has done with our city becoming, I believe, #1, some say #2, but whether it's 1 or 2, the safest cities in the country, this is really a testament to this team working together with your help. So I'd like to commend and compliment and introduce to you our superintendent of schools, Dr. Edwin Quesada.
Good afternoon, everyone. I take an opportunity to introduce, Mr. Sherman, come this way, to introduce all of our students to each and every one of you. These are the arts industry students here at Lincoln High School, and they do incredible work working with our arts industry teacher. Can I ask them to please stand so that we can recognize our teacher? I saw Ms. Cass, I see Mr. Porter, I saw Ms. Howard. So Mr. They produce incredible work for our students. So young people, Mr. Sherman and I, we have 16 years combined as principals of this building. 16. So we are getting old, understand that. At least Mr. Sherman is getting old. Right? So I want you to explain to you what Mr. Carr will do with this initial amount of funding that's going to come to you with this auditorium for you. By the way, the expected time of completion is the fall of 21. The fall of 21. So if you are in the 10th grade, you will be able to use this auditorium for another year. If you are in 11th or 12th, Mr. Sherman will welcome you back. So understand that. Well, the expectation is that you will have new seating here, and air conditioning, right? And new ceiling and lights, repair the bricks, paint the auditorium, replace the stage front and side stairs, replace the curtain, a new projector with a screen, as well as upgrading the sound system. It's going to cost $1,000, but we'll make it happen because we work with a city council and a mayor that are willing to support all of our efforts. So this is going to be great for you, for future generations, and it's going to be great for our community. So once again, thank you, Dr. Nader Sayegh, for beginning this process and allowing us to do great things. I also want to announce that Dr. Nader Sayegh spoke about you and the opportunity to participate in civic activities. He also facilitated a grant in the amount of $75,000, which is going to be used for after school to do civic readiness. So if you want to put a club together and eventually go see Dr. Sayegh over in the Capitol in December, we'll put the report together and we'll fund it with that $75,000 for each and every one of you as well. So thank you, Dr. Sayegh, for facilitating that grant as well. So as we close this press conference, which I am so thrilled that you are so well behaved and so attentive. So thank you to each and every one of you. Understand how important it is to recognize those that are fighting for you. So please put your hands together and honor all these individuals. Of educating our next generation. Thank you very much, everyone. And Dr. Sayegh, do you take any questions? You have any questions for Dr. Sayegh or anyone here? No? Dr. Sayegh? Okay. Just thank you very much. Good luck.